Hello, everybody. It is Identify Different. Hashtag 1850, the Oracle of Elohim. How y'all doing this wonderful, beautiful Saturday? Well, at least it's kind of beautiful where I am. It's sunny, but it's beautiful, right? On this August 2nd, 2025. I was dozing in and out because perhaps someone was pulling on my energy. I just had to call it back. Get up, get into the sun, take a little walk, and wake up my inner man to my higher self, that is. Okay. So whoever is trying to pull from me, get out. I'm so serious. Get out, please. Okay, all serious. Now, you know I've been waiting for my justice. Justice, justice. Let freedom ring. Is that what my beautiful Harriet Tubman, Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Marcus Garvey, Honorable Martin Luther King Jr., the Honorable Malcolm X, Ida B. Wells, and I had the pleasure of getting to know someone by the name the Honorable Walter Williams. You know, I thank God for all those ancestors and all their contributions that they have done. Now, I want to talk to some other folk. Now, the folk that are in leadership today, how do y'all feel about my ancestors and the injustices that they went through? Some overcame to only go back through it again, and then their descendants the same. Here I am. And as I say that, I'm saying this because people, I'm not harping on only ethnic group Caucasian, because my family dynamic, the one who was really, really rotten towards me, they look like me. However, what I have come to the conclusion of is most of those who are against blacks, if you will, melanated, this cornhole game or pony ride is like the gladiator for them. They like for us to be at odds with one another. And sadly to say, we are just that. We're at odds with one another because you did something very diabolical to me. Nevertheless, now let's get back to the folks that's in charge. You know that something is wrong. My ancestors are not turning over in their grave. They're standing up right here watching, looking, proceeding to bring me and others justice. Because there is some hostile takeover of people's things like mine. And then there's some contracts that were made probably before I can even make a coup as a little infant, which is very sad. And then some of us that look like me were so cheesy. You're all into, oh, how's my eyelashes, my fingernails, my toenails? I gotta get the latest, blah, 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 blah. And yet the terminology, black folk are liquid gold, just runs across your head because your eyelashes got your eyes closed shut. And your fingernails is, I guess, in the weave. Oh, let me not. Yes, the weave. Yes, let's talk about it. Some of you who have come up against me, who have lied and smeared my name, trying to constantly cast spells, you're into all that. I gotta go get my hair done. I gotta go do this and that. But yet you're so rotten and ugly on the inside. And then let's skip back over to those in charge that probably don't look like me. You are allowing it because it's something that, I don't know, maybe deep down within, because some of your ancestors, they were very wicked, and by force and by action, they were very wicked against people that look like me. Now, because of AI technology, it's kind of difficult to try to swindle in a knockoff as it was done in the past. Because of this case, this storm that some have tried to entrap me in, but then there's some that campaign on my behalf, and I'm very grateful for that, because truly, if you were out here alone and a bunch of barbaric degenerates came after you from all facets of life and ethnicities, it would be just like, oh, another one bites the dust. That's water under the bridge. They're no longer here. But, like I said, a family dynamic sold me to a government system, enslaved me right up under my feet from an infant, and yet it is still going on today. And then those in power are acting like you don't see this. See, that's the other thing you can do since AI is out here. You can't kind of like act like you don't see it unless I have contacted you on many occasions for help, and I've expressed it in very layman's terms, because I mean, although I don't have the vocabulary words that make you look very collegiate, so I speak in layman terms where everybody can understand, even a fifth grader, right? If they were to run across a video, right? But nevertheless, I don't need to have collegiate vocabulary for you to understand that what is going on with my situation: delays, conspiracies, collaborations, to keep a cycle repeating, instead of bringing me my justice. Because in your eyes, I sit here like I am on this camera by myself. But I have a protection team that is unseen to me, but I know that they are very much real, because before I reached out to DOJ on November 22nd, 2022, it had to be the grace and mercy of all of our Creator that wouldn't allow you to take my life as you are so gung-ho about doing, because you want to save face. And so what I said prior to saying this is, with my family, those who look like me, after me, and some of you too, if they were successful, it will be a win-win for all of you, especially those who don't want their name implemented in this RICO crime investigation, hostile takeover. And so, as the late, is he deceased? Perhaps. I don't know. But, yeah, I think he is. As the late, great Walter Williams said, to my leaders now, are you becoming a domestic terrorist against the Constitution that says that I am free? If you know something was stolen from me, from these people, why haven't I received my justice? I look at my late, great, beautiful women like Harriet Tubman, and I'm just going to give a little description. She's a black woman, where her pictures, it make her look like, Aunt Chimama or something. But because of the struggles and the hard work, you can't see her real beauty from when she was a little girl, because of the harshness and brutality of the upbringing and the environment that she was in, that as a woman she also had to endure, and then try to convince certain people what her calling was to pull you out from under brutality, to come out from slavery, which I am trying to do. But then when I'm out and about, I see my kind trying to obstruct me. And there are others, just not those who look like me. But it will be a win-win, because you people are so ignorant. You're enslaved in your mind, thinking that if we get rid of her, then we all can go live our life in peace. You all are thieves. You're robbers. You did more than that during 2020. The Most High, who is higher than all of us, is not pleased with that. So, with you steadily trying to get away with being lazy, like you claim that I am. No, I'm not lazy. I just know that if I start a project, you hijack it, you block it, until there is justice where you are removed and you can no longer do that to me, so I can proceed to live as a human being. I just don't want to just gloat on my color, because this is very much a hate crime when we do have people in power that do not look like me and you're turning the other cheek. So then we get into hate crimes with this RICO crime, guilty by association, collaborating with people, paying people to harass, stalk, not excluding red rumming, right? And so I used to ask myself, which one is worse? The person with the long money who can pay somebody to try to knock you off, or the person that they paid to knock you off? I believe they're both equal. Reason being is, the one with the long money, they hide in the shadows. And if the person that they give the money to is successful, then it's a win-win for them. But it's a lose-lose for the person that they hired to do something nefarious. Because like I told you before, if someone with clout and they have a special rapport with being known around the world or in their community as a pillar of high standard, and you're lingering around knowing that, oh, they paid me to do this, yeah, you might want to be looking over your shoulder, because they probably gonna pay somebody else to get rid of you so you can never blah, 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 right? So they cycle can keep going on like Gladiator, if you will. Understand that. I'm speaking in layman terms. Understand what I'm saying, right? So you're both equally bad. But what is worse is for someone who looks like me, where the ancestors were traumatized back in the day, work hard for what they had and what they were able to give to their descendants as a legacy, or here's something that can help you along the way, and I hope you do well with it. Now my disturbed family of Sibyls, all they saw fit to do with something that belongs to me is pay people to try to harm me. And yet, August 2nd, 2025, here I am. Because of the grace of the Most High, that's still giving you grace to change, to stop. And the Honorable Walter Williams wrote up a proclamation too, to, basically saying, if you stop doing what you're doing so we can all enjoy this earth, because if God created us all, right, that means you were supposed to be here, I'm supposed to be here. Now, my perception right now is the greatest jealousy, in my opinion, was when my people that look like me were enslaved and brutally treated brutal. And then at some point someone decided to let them go free, but yet because of the brutality that they were probably raised in the disturbia from their parents being, brutally mistreated, the upbringing of their children was probably rough. and then they grew up, and then they have children, and then, it was probably rough, right? Because of the mindset, the brutality of the environment, knowing that massa could come in, rape, or take your child from you, or get up, do what I say, and then if you're sick, if God forbid, because I know some days when I used to work, I'm not feeling well, so I know that some of my ancestors had to not be feeling well some days, and when they're not feeling well, did they get whipped? What happened to them? Was that the day that they were murdered by getting a harsh whipping? Because their body was just too tired to keep going like a machine? I mean, let's wrap our heads around that, and let's not try to say we don't need to go backwards. Well, you take us backwards when we have to visit the Holocaust. So if we want to keep it 100, let's talk about these things, and let's make right what happened with the properties of Black Wall Street. Just because you start a fire and burn somebody's property down, that means that property, that landmark still belonged, I'm talking Ebonics, but belonged to somebody. But yet it was erased like, oh, a fire happened, so gone. It's ours now. Let's split. No. Wrong. So if you want to do things right, then let's make things right. Now, this crazy nutcase family took something from me. I want my things. They allow some other nutcases that work in the judicial system that possibly look like me, but not, or maybe so, or they collab with somebody that look like me, and then there's others involved too. Because there's not too many, there are judges, I shouldn't say that, there are some judges that look like me. But you know exactly who you are that's involved in this case, that's trying to cover up things. Which is very sickening if you say you don't want people to talk about the movie that you so eloquently just bring on our TV, at least you used to, Roots, right? You want to talk about the Holocaust and what happened there with Hitler and things of that nature, which was also very terrible. You want to talk about the Indians and give them their reservations. Everybody else has a recourse except the melanated people. And whatever is owed to me must be very huge because you don't want to give it to me. But yet you call yourself right. Then make this right. I'm still living. Make this right. Do what you're supposed to do. Give me back what was stolen from me. Okay, so my phone did something crazy, like it stopped. So someone's getting upset now, I guess. I want my things. Okay? That's all. Give me my things. Ida B. Wells said, if you want to right a wrong, then shed light upon it. Where are my things? When are these people going to be arrested? If it is arrestable. And I know Walter Williams, he made a proclamation excusing bad behavior. But if you want to be excused, then make it right over here. I should not be living in my car. I should not be denied my things that rightfully belong to me. And then when I try to do other things, you still try to block me. Make right. Make this wrong. That was done unto me, not me doing this. Let's make it right. It's time for it to get made right. I do not understand why my things are still held up. I want my own atmosphere. I don't want to be forced in this car. I don't even want somebody to force someone, oh, you can't, I forbid you to talk to her, to help her. What is wrong with you? That's hateful. That's cruel. That's insidious. It's almost, it should be arrestable. Like I say again, who are the terrorists against the Constitution? Who are you? Show your face. Come forward, please. So we all know who we need to impeach, get rid of, vote out. I mean, we're so collegiate when we say, come out and vote, people, come out and vote. But are you ready for that vote? You're not doing your job. When you sit up here and you turn your face, when you know someone is asking you for help, for you to do your duties that you were hired or voted in office to do. Can I get that, please? I don't need for you to even like me. But since I am another human being and I have not broken any laws, you have to respect me as I am supposed to respect you, right? So if you want me to respect you, then respect the laws that you claim that you wrote out, endorsed, that should be working in my situation. If there's a theft of a certain amount, if there is criminal stalking, if there's a threat to someone's livelihood by many, there are laws in place, and I want them to be applicable to my case. I want it to start rolling. I want some arrests. I want some judgments called, judges. I want to be vindicated, and I'm ready to move on. And I want others to stay out of other people's lives. That's important. If they're not breaking the law, that is. Stop trying to hostilely take over somebody's decision making like you're trying to do with mine. I really don't care if my family member was 100 years old. They are taking time, years, days, months. In general, they're taking my peace by you not giving me justice, passing judgment so this can stop. So that's all. I want what's mine. I want to go on about my business, and whatever the Most High will have me to do, let me do it, as long as I'm not breaking the laws of the land or trying to harm another person. And some may say, well, sometimes your mouth when the things you talk about is harmful. Well, if that be the case, then I would advise you to click off my channel. And then if it's harmful to you, maybe you should examine yourself. Maybe you act like some of these people who have been trying to harm me in a very malicious way. And because I bring up the ancestors of the old, it's because we know who's in power, right? So if you're in the seat of power to make a decision about a case, whether or not DOJ can come to me and bring me my news, or someone is stopping them, prohibiting them from investigating or bringing me my news, that's what I am talking about. That is an injustice, a very diabolical imbalance that could cost someone their life when you don't do your job correctly. And I don't give you any power over my life. None of you. Because that's not what you're here to do. That's not your job description, to have power over people's lives. We are to live and obey the laws that you laid out before us. And when we don't do that, then you are supposed to come and make an arrest, take us to court, and tell us what we are charged of. And then if you have proven your point without a reasonable doubt, then you will find them guilty, sentence them to their sentence, and so be it. But you can't even do that with me. You have me sitting, waiting for my information that other people are doing to me. And I do not, for the life of me with AI tech, understand why it is not yet solved. Unless there's a leak in the buildings of power where some of you are not right. So let's just let that go. We just leave it there. So the wrong that's being done, let's turn it around and make it right. I should not have to pay for anybody's wrong that we know is doing wrong. Don't dish out what you would not want to sit in or eat yourself. Is that the law of the word? You shall reap that which you sow. So if you don't want to reap that which you give or what you allow or what you intentionally overlook, then start making it right. Please. Thank you.